One.
Okay, here we are, September 2022, EAC meeting. We'd like to call this meeting to adjourn. Do I hear a vote?
You want to adjourn it already?
You got to
Yeah,
start it
oh
before you
no,
can end
start
it.
it. I would like to adjourn it, actually. I've had a rough week. Can you tell?
Freudian slip. Right.
It's been a bad week.
On
All
history.
right, so we're gonna start the meeting, okay. I'm sorry, did we get somebody to agree to that?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, and we have a second. All right, meeting. All right. So we still can't approve the July minutes because we don't have 4 people from the July meeting. So we can forget that. Did everyone get a chance to look at the August meeting minutes?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Comments,
Look good.
concerns, changes?
I put
No.
everything I needed in it.
All right. Do we want to put out a vote to approve the August 2022 meetings?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the 8/4/22 minutes as written.
Okay.
And I'll second.
Second, all right. Everybody in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, they will go out tomorrow. If Sunya happens to come on at one point, we'll go back to the July one.
Yes.
All right, tree planting. So I coordinated with Monica. She is coordinating with, I believe, Ken's Lawn Service for Kids Kingdom. For the planting this fall. Oh, wait, I missed an entire thing. Well, let's do this first because the invasive species is going to be a rough one.
Yep.
So she'll keep me updated on that. I also talked to her about Patterson. She's going to talk to Ken's Lawn Service about that one. I have some concerns about Patterson and planting 40 trees in a drought, unless something really changes in the next month to month and a half. I'm a little concerned about 24 trees also, but 40 just sounds a lot. So I don't know. We're going to see what happens with that one.
Yeah.
Just,
can be-
wait a month. We've got,
No, I know. That's why I said,
A
like,
few
let's see
months
what
that we can-
happens. Yeah, let's see what happens in the next month. I mean, we got a little bit of rain the other day, but not enough to make a big difference. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Just takes one hurricane.
Yeah, hopefully not a crazy one.
no, I agree, but things can turn around fairly rapidly. That was a nice rain we had the other day. It was soaking rain. And literally my lawn in the back that was brown, the next day was actually green. It's just absolutely amazing. But good point, Linda. Let's wait a month till next meeting and then see what it's
What
like.
happens, yeah.
We'll have quite a long envelope of planting that we can take, that we can perform.
Okay. All right. Okay, so now to number 2, invasive species ordinance. So we've all had a chance to look at this, digest it, concerns, comments. This ordinance needs some assistance. First of all, I think we need to, I was just talking to Suzanne about this before it started. We need to figure out where 10 inches came from, because if we stick with 10 inches for any type of vegetation, pretty much everybody's in non-compliance.
Well, there's something strange about this whole thing that I don't understand, and I think everybody else might be in the feel the same way about it. Firstly, the draft that I have in front of me contains basically none of our work at all. And
Well, there's that. Well, and no, so Jim explained that to me. Apparently, he had our comments. I don't know if it was somebody from the solicitor's office took a shot at it and put in whatever revisions. This is what he said to me. So I don't know if they ever had our comments. Whoever worked on this latest version.
Well, I assume that Jim Majewski was working on this. And from what you told me, the conversation that we had, Linda, Jim wasn't even aware that it was actually going to be an agenda item.
No, he wasn't. That's what he told me. He wasn't aware it was an agenda item at the last meeting. So.
That's strange.
So I don't know what's going on. But there's got to be some changes to this for
No.
this to make sense.
Could we say the 10 inches is just for herbaceous plants? So somehow you have
Yeah,
it
but
for
if you
grass
start,
and weeds?
yeah, but if you start getting into ornamentals, like everybody who has Chinese silvergrass, let alone the fact that it's invasive, is out of compliance. That thing grows to 4 feet tall, if not taller. So that all needs to go.
Could we just use quantitative or qualitative language, like your lawn? I don't know. Is there some word that says maintain, relatively maintain, or something? I don't know.
Unless that's what this ordinance is about. It's about maintained lawn. In that case, then then that needs to be actually put in here with the definition. Because if you're just gonna use brush grass weeds, that's gonna apply to anything.
Yeah, but that's why it's in here. That's why the ordinance is there, to keep lawns from getting tall and having to be cut.
Well, my suggestion is, I know you're pretty busy, Linda, but maybe you, myself, and anybody else who is, who wants to, why don't we meet with Jim Majewski and just go through this thing?
I mean, that's fine. Yeah, there's got to be at least some more definition to this, or something that's making, it just doesn't make sense the way that it's written. And somehow it needs to tie in with the managed natural landscape, which I'm assuming is going to be a whole separate ordinance because it's all been taken out of here.
Well, see, I'm not so sure about that. I think
No, it has been.
It's where it belongs, right here, rather than being a separate ordinance, but
I don't know however they want to do it, however the township wants to do it, whether it's separate or within this, it's got to somehow connect to each other. Because then with just this as a standalone document means the managed natural landscape sites don't comply.
yeah. Well, again, I think, the only solution to this at this stage is for you and myself and any other interested parties to sit down with Jim and go over this thing, because there's a real disconnect here, and I have no idea what really happened.
I don't know. All right. I mean, I can send both of these documents, this one and the one we worked on previously in February, to Jim, copy you, and please let me know whoever else wants to be in attendance, and just say that we need to sit down and talk about this.
I think that makes a lot of sense. What do, Alan and Kevin, you on board with this?
Sounds good to me. Copy me. I might try and attend. I'd like to talk to Jim about some development projects too.
Right.
All right. I'll just copy the EAC. It's fine. And we'll figure it out from there.
Suzanne, what was the rule about how many people can be gathered and it not be?
Oh, there's that.
Three is okay.
Okay.
So I don't need to be there. You guys know more about this than I do.
All right. If you have any other comments, just make sure you get it to us and we'll go from there.
Hey,
Okay.
camera people, Sumya, one of the members, says she's in the waiting room and she's been trying to get in. Can you let her in, please?
Are we going to approve the minutes?
Only if we can get her in.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. We'll see if they hear us.
Yeah, Gene and I had the same issue last meeting, and I have no idea what the technical, issue is, but hopefully we can get her in soon.
All right. Alan, do you want to bring up land use plans?
Sure. You see the list of the 3 projects that are active or in process, but August being August, nothing's happened this month. So
Okay.
there's no change to any of them. And I mean, Doug Marshall, is he in on this call? He was trying to get in on this call. I sent him the information on how to get on. He wanted to follow it because he's concerned about 1101 Big Oak Road project because he lives right across the street. But I guess he's not in. But he's concerned about it. So I'll keep following him, and maybe next month we'll have
Okay.
something new.
Okay. All right, recycling. Well, we'll start with the one. Suzanne, any progress on plastic bags?
No, I don't know anything else on plastic bags.
All right. Do we need to bother anybody?
I mean, I can keep asking them.
Yep.
Right, I just would, Linda and I were talking briefly, right? There's sentiment sometimes on the board that the board, I think some of you will have heard this speech from other people, not myself, that, you guys act as like cabinet members. And when the board says, hey, how do you think we should handle this? Then you weigh in on how we should handle it. So some board members may be thinking, well, we didn't ask for any of this, so we're not really, it's not where they want to go. I don't really know, but I will continue to follow up.
Okay, thank you.
Suzanne, I'd like to just comment briefly upon that. I believe the role of the EAC is different than that. I think it's incumbent upon us to find out what's out there nationwide, and if anything that we feel has a great deal of merit is not being done in Lower Makefield Township, I think we should be bringing those to the township for a look by the Board of Supervisors. Of course, if they have an issue that they want us to take a look at, that would certainly have a priority. But over the years, the reason that we have some of these innovative ordinances is not because we waited upon the board for, a request. It's because we looked around, saw what was out there, thought it would work in Lower Makefield Township, and we brought it to the township, and it was voted upon and approved.
Soumya,
Hi.
got in.
Yeah, I don't know. There was some connection problem. I just there was nobody to let me in for a very long time, and then I wasn't getting put into the room.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
You want to go back to the minutes, Linda? That you?
Sure. Soumya, did you get a chance to look at the July minutes?
Yeah.
Did you have any comments or concerns? That's the
No,
only
no,
month. Okay, that's the
yeah,
only
no,
month
I'm
that
good
we
with
have it approved. All right, so for all those who were at the July meeting, sorry, everybody but you, Kevin, do we want to vote on the July minutes?
Sure.
Sure, I make a
Alright.
motion, we approve the July meeting minutes.
A second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, they'll also go out. We did approve the August ones. All right, so we're at recycling, just to keep you up to date, Soumya.
Thanks.
There's no status on plastic bag, single-use plastic bag reduction at this point. And if we want to, whoever else wants to bring up any other topics for recycling, we can get into that right now.
Yeah, well, the October 29th event is still on. I talked to Ray Bob about styrofoam, and they are more than happy to take our styrofoam. So we'll probably do the same thing we did last time, put it in the big bags. I still have a lot of big bags left, and store it in the meeting room at the township building. I emailed Katie, and nothing's scheduled for that weekend, Halloween weekend, in that room. So there hopefully won't be a problem with that. And then on Monday, I'll rent a truck and take it to Ray Bob. And that'll be the end of it.
Okay.
So typically this time of year, the stray cats or other cat rescue companies may or may not be interested in the giant containers. Does somebody want to reach out to them and
I have their contact. I'll reach out to them before, actually, I'll reach out to them tonight at one point just to give them a quicker heads up.
Okay, and then we'll just follow up as we get closer. Great.
Okay.
And I'll put flyers up next week around the township. So we'll get the word out. And hopefully Paul's not on the call, but hopefully he'll get the newsletter out that talks about the lecture and the recycling event.
Did anybody get the TerraCycle email besides me?
No.
No,
So I think I sent it to you the last time it came out, right? And then they backed out because I think maybe they had bitten off more than they could chew or something. And now they're back. And Suzanne, I took your suggestion and sent them a note about speaking to us in some way. And I haven't heard back yet, but it was just a couple of days ago I sent it. And they will take for recycling, you know, I mean, it costs somewhat, but they styrofoam and tops, you know, all kinds of stuff. So I think it's worth getting the word out there. So I'll let you know when I hear from them about.
Yeah, I think it's great, the work that, you know, when we first talked about whether or not there are companies that could help with composting, and we see how successful that's been through the township and elsewhere. So just bringing awareness to people that if they're willing to, you know, put a little skin into the game, they can be more effective in keeping stuff out of the landfill. We may see similar, you know, positive results.
Yes, yeah. There's one of the things that they are going to be collecting is dog pet food bags and stuff. And when those 50-pound bags of dog food, that has to stay in the landfill for, I don't know, years and years and years and years and years. So they are, I don't know what they're doing with all of those, the different products, but they're doing stuff there. So I'll let you know what I hear. Oh, and then three of us, Linda and Kevin, you're going to the meeting on the 28th, right?
Yes.
And I signed up to go.
Okay.
So.
I also signed up to go.
Yeah, I'm kind of
that's
curious. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
curious what this is going to be all about. I talked to Gary briefly when I got the email. I mean, I think this is just kind of a meet and greet initial meeting to like break
Oh, really? Yeah.
yeah, to like break everyone up into smaller groups.
Right. Okay.
So I don't know. We'll see. That's at least what I got out of it. So should be interesting.
Mhm.
Kevin, on the 29th, are you still good with the batteries? Collecting household batteries?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
Do you take the batteries from calculators? Did I ask that already?
Yeah, I think it's everything under 12 volts. So they don't take the
Okay.
big lantern batteries, 12-volt lantern.
Oh, okay.
Smaller voltage.
Okay, good. Okay. All right. Jim, do you want to go over your recycling carry in, carry out?
Yeah, thanks, Linda. This was sent out a couple of days ago, and since that time, I've had a little change of direction, and I need the input from Suzanne. I also need the input from the rest of the board. Initially, I selected as a trial the Kids Kingdom and Memorial Park and the picnic area near Kingdom Park. I think that might be a little bit much to chew initially. So what I did in the last couple of days, I've made some tours of the mini parks in Lower Makefield Township. Specifically, I went to the Schuyler Tennis Courts, the Revere Pickleball Courts, Veterans Park, Heacock. There's supposedly 4 type mini parks in there, but when you get involved in like Heacock, Meadow Glen and everything else, I actually was getting lost in there. I mean, it's kind of a maze. So I found the one park, but I didn't find like 2 or 3 of the others. So I think right now, what we should decide, if, again, we decide that this is a viable concept, how we want to start out. I think there's basically 2 directions we can take. We can start out with these small mini parks and probably end up with maybe about 8 trash cans involved. But, 8 it's actually kind of a big deal because that's 8 separate trips. Or if we want to get a little more aggressive, we can pick something like Memorial Park. And I think ultimately Memorial Park would be an excellent candidate because, firstly, it's a memorial park and these trash cans, even the best of them, tend to be unsightly. And there's no food concession or anything like that at Memorial Park. So I guess what I need from the group is what direction that they think we should go initially. Now, of course, hoping that the initial trial is a success and that the board, wants to do this, we would certainly expand it.
Well, so there's no trial without the board, right?
Right,
Well,
obviously.
the board and
Yeah.
we need to get Monica on board also.
Yeah, that
because
was my
her
next
direction.
comment. I think at this stage, what my next step was going to be is to sit down with Monica and go over this. And, I think personally, I think the merits are pretty obvious. And, I'm not going to lay out all the reasons because that's in the letter I sent out. But I think if the group thinks this is a viable concept, I think what we need now is a direction. Should we go with maybe the small mini parks initially, or should we go with something larger like the Memorial Park? Now, the Memorial Park, I chatted with Alan the other day, and that has, I guess, about 8 trash cans and maybe 4 recycling cans. And they're kind of spread out all over the place. But so what's, what do our members feel about this? And I value your input as well, Suzanne.
So Jim, what exactly is the effort on part of the township? Is it just signage? Like when you're saying, like at the start, I should say it's a great idea and I think it should really be done. That is the way I was trying to talk about reducing waste right up front in Monica's plan. So this is a great thing, but what is the actual action to be taken? Is it signage?
Yeah, well, there's actually 2 steps. Firstly, I think, well, a couple of steps. Firstly, I think you have to educate the public, okay, through any media devices that we have at hand, just to let them know that we feel it's a good concept, it works for the town, it's worked other places. And then if that, after that step, I think we have to take the existing cans out and put signage in. The beauty of this is that on an ongoing basis, it's basically no work for the township, except every once in a while, just maybe doing some monitoring type work. And I've included a couple of samples of signs that, we saw when we were up in Vermont. And just the other day, now when I'm walking the dog or biking, anytime I see a park around here, I stop. And I just stopped at a canal park up in Salisbury the other day, and they have carry in, carry out too. So the wording is, I think not too difficult. It's basically, if you bring it in, take it out. And the couple of samples that I provided, I think, make that pretty clear.
So does that mean step one is like a lecture hosted by the EAC?
No, I think I don't think we need a lecture on this. I think first step is to review this with Monica. And then the second step is to get the Board of Supervisors approval before we do anything. I mean, the board's our boss. We don't do anything without their approval. And then once we have that, then we can start, educating the public. I don't think we need a lecture on this because I think the concept is incredibly simple. And I don't think it's all that sophisticated, through our educational media, our township newsletter, or a TV station, whatever. We could talk about this, and then we get a couple of signs made and put them in, take the others out.
Yeah, I think the sign will do the trick. Get the
Yeah,
sign
I mean,
up.
it's pretty easy. When I think most people, I mean, there's, an oddball, but I think when most people see this, they're going to say, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, even if let's say you're at a picnic at one of the parks, you bring a picnic basket. So what's the big deal? After your picnic, you put your refuse in the picnic basket and take it home. Now, we've stayed away completely from any facilities that provide food because that's kind of a sticky wicket. And I don't know what we'll do with that down the road. But I think initially what we have to do is provide the board with an easy way for them to say yes. And I think the easy way is just, to walk on this project initially and not run with it.
Yeah, do the 3 test cases at the small parks, see how that goes, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, well, it's more than 3 test cases, I think, Alan. There's
How many you got?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then when I talked to Monica, these pocket parks only have 1 trash can in them generally. And I looked at, it's not that I'm a trash picker or anything like that, but, I started looking in there and a lot of them weren't really all that filled. Some of them hardly filled at all. So when I talked to Monica, what I want to find out is exactly where these other 3 parks are. And then what I'd like to see is that as an initial trial, we talk to Monica, get the board's approval, and then we start educating the public and put these signs up. And I would say for 3 or 4 months evaluation, and then we'll take a look and see if it's working. I don't see how a project like this could not work well, but if I'm not wrong, at least once a day, I haven't done anything. So anyway, we'll see what happens. So what does the board feel about this? Not the board, I'm sorry, the council.
So I would I'm definitely not against it. I would just remind you that we've gone on like different paths, even in the last 12 months, right? You and Jeannie and Alan, I know you worked really hard on going around and inventorying all the trash cans and the recycle cans, right? We were going to make a push to get more cans. Now, obviously, if we move cans from the project parks to the other parks, that might be a coordinated effort. But there was also the work that you began with Monica on looking to see if we could have a trial basis of a composting program at some of the parks. So I think in general, it sounds good. I hope people will participate, but since I clean up trash along Woodside Road once a month, because people think if you throw it out your window, it somehow gets someplace. I'm not overly optimistic, but I think when you talk to Monica and when you guys come back with what you want to go to the board, we should really think, a little bit more globally about which is the best way or a combination of ways to go forward.
Yeah, I think personally, what you're saying doesn't preclude this from happening. I'm well aware of the analysis that's taken place, about the appropriate type of trash and recycling cans at various locations throughout the park. If again, we're dealing with initially with the pocket parks, and any trash cans removed from them could be used certainly for other purposes. And, maybe at the end of the day, what happens is we do all the mini parks and maybe Memorial Park, and maybe we stay away completely from any park that's serving food. But again, I think we need to start this out on a small basis, get an evaluation, and then see where we want to go from there. I mean, I think the concept is quite simple. The township basically doesn't have to do anything. But I hear what you're saying too, Suzanne. Even the composting, that doesn't preclude maybe composting, but I don't think you would want, at these mini parks, I don't think you would want to get involved in composting anyway. I think that would lend itself more to larger type venues. What I would like from the council tonight is, firstly, I think dealing with the mini parks rather than the Memorial Park is the way to go initially, although certainly some merit in going with the Memorial Park, but I think the board would not be receptive to that, where I think they might be receptive to starting out with mini parks. So starting out with the mini parks, and then I will, revise this letter instead of talking about the Memorial Park and the Kids Kingdom, modify it to include these mini parks, and then sit down with Monica and go over this and prepare the next meeting to talk more about it after I have input, from Monica. So I think I would need a motion for that.
Sure. I'll make a motion to approve Jim's plan to go forward with the take in, take out concept.
I second it.
All in favor?
I'm allowed to vote too, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
well,
sounds like a good
thank you. Thanks very much. I'm a little excited about this. And again, I don't know, assuming, that we get approval and it works, I don't know where this is going to end up, but, that's something that we'll all see down the road. But, thank you for reviewing this and for your positive vote.
Like you say, Jim, I think there's very little effort on the part of the township. And it's a very important component of any solid waste management plan, which was missing in Monica's plan. So I think this should go well. There should be no reason for it not to go well.
Well, let's hope. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're done with recycling. All right, so Lee's, the environmental series, Lee's lecture is scheduled for the 22nd and 29th. That's all being handled by Monica's team, so I'm not exactly sure what it is we need to do at this point, unless somebody wants to show up. I'm unfortunately gonna be out of town that week, or at least the first week, I know that.
Isn't it usually at 1 o'clock in the afternoon?
It is at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It is at 1 o'clock in, hold on a minute.
That's what I had in my
believe-
calendar.
Yeah, it is.
I believe, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'm very
It's at the,
excited.
it's at the community center.
Got it.
Actually, I'm very excited about this concept because for years, I get my electric bill, we get our electric and gas bill, and you figure, where does all this stuff come from? Unfortunately, on the 22nd, I have a dental appointment, and believe me, I would much rather be going to Lee's appointment than my dental appointment, but at least I can make one of these because I have loads of questions about electrical generation, and I think a lot of other people in the township will as well. So hopefully this will go off, smoothly.
But Jim, if you want to send me your questions, I plan on going.
Okay, Kevin. I'll take you, yeah, I'll take you up on that, all right?
So Linda, you said they don't need any help getting
Not
it
as far
ready?
as not as far as I know. No one's said
Okay,
anything. to
well,
me.
I might come
believe-
early just to help out.
Yeah, I
Okay.
believe Elizabeth has it all handled. I know the last time I coordinated with her, I asked if she needed anything. So, I mean, I'll double check and make sure, but as far as
Yeah.
I know, she's got it all handled.
And we're gonna publicize it by putting it in the newsletter. That,
So,
now,
yeah, Paul, I
Paul,
believe,
did he send it
did.
out?
I don't know if he sent it out. He sent something out to look at. Did everybody get that?
Well, I think I got it and then I
I
copied
got it.
you.
Yeah,
And that's the last I've heard of it.
that's the
So
last I heard of it too, so I have no idea.
I will follow up with him and he's got to get that out pretty soon.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because he had sent it to me also, and then I saw your revisions,
Right.
and I haven't seen anything since then, so I don't know.
Okay, well,
Mm,
I'll
The
get
Norman
on.
advertises or publicizes it on their various channels, the TV, the Facebook. So I haven't seen anything on this.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that Elizabeth's going to handle the publicizing at the community center, but other than that, I don't know what's going on. When I email her, I'll find out what's going on about her end of publicizing it.
Yeah. If they need flyers put out, I can put them out at
Okay.
Starbucks and the grocery stores and things.
Yeah, I mean, she asked for a flyer, so yeah, I don't know what's going on
Yeah.
other than that, so I'm not sure. All right, the rain barrel lecture. So Monica emailed me a week ago. She is going to attend next month's EAC to update us on the rain barrels. Apparently, she's found a company to be able to provide the rain barrels, and the township will subsidize a portion of it. She'll go into all the details on that. And that's about all I have at this point. And then at
And
one
then-
point, she's going to have a lecture to talk about the use of it.
So I had put her in touch with Kathleen from Penn State regarding the lecture part of it. So Kathleen says she has a couple of people who can give that lecture.
Okay. So yeah, I'm assuming Monica's going to explain all of it next month. So that's the only update I have on that. All right, so, well, Paul's not here. Sumya, any update on every bit counts?
No updates.
No, okay. All right, Kevin, any updates on Ready for 100?
No, I think that initiative is dead. I mean, they're kind of wrapping it into their whole mantra. So that they don't have a separate committee anymore.
Okay. Who was handling the open space recommendations, Jim or Alan?
I was.
Or both? Okay.
Yeah, the letter went out on the 19th, August 19th. And what we have 6 different parcels, I believe.
Something like that.
Yeah, and I haven't heard anything back, so hopefully they'll take our recommendations, though. Yeah, I'm not sure if we could talk about any of them, but whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what confuses you, Alan, but I would point out that some of the properties that you recommended, which I understand why they would be enticing, are just not on the market, right? So I don't know what kind of response you would expect, but let me tell you, letter received. Thank you. We
Okay.
appreciate it.
Well, sometimes you reach out to these people and see if they're interested. That's happened a lot in the past. They don't have to have it necessarily for sale on Zillow or whatever, but you contact them and see if they're interested, and you'd be surprised. Sometimes they
Yeah,
are.
actually, in looking at the history of EAC and open space, That's generally the way it works. There's very, very few properties that we've procured over the years that have been, openly on the market. What we have actually done through a series of various letters throughout the years is, especially properties that we thought were highly ranked, is we sent letters out to the owners. And that's where a lot of these properties actually were and ended up being procured, because the owners then said, well, yeah, okay, we're interested. A lot of them said no, but with the 6 you sent out too, I think it might not be a bad idea, if the board's so inclined, is to send out a letter to these individuals and see if they're interested in selling their property.
And if one wants to find out who the owners are, we could.
I will let you know.
Okay.
Well, the owners actually should be listed in the EAC inventory, because when we did this inventory, we put down the owners, I believe, and their address and all that sort of information.
Yeah, but that was a while ago. Things.
It was a long time ago. You're right, Alan, and I'm sure quite a few of those properties have changed hands since then.
But yeah, we could do that pretty easy.
Thank you.
All right.
Also, I might add, if those 6 properties do not prove fruitful, we have many, many more that, we could, offer to the board for their consideration as well.
Well, just to be clear, I don't think the board said, give us your top 6. So if there are other properties that you think, if you want to rank them or whatever you want to do.
Well, I think at this stage, though, and again, I'm not trying to talk, for the rest of the board, but, we would like some input on the 6 that we've selected. And if that doesn't prove viable, I mean, I don't think it's fruitful to give the board, a list with 50 properties on it. I think that would be overwhelming. But I think a small sample of properties that we feel are worthwhile, and then the board takes a look at that. And then if they want more, we'll gladly supply them some more.
Okie dokie.
I think what Suzanne is trying to say is the board may actually want the whole 50 list.
Well, so
Yeah.
just to be clear, like one of the properties that's identified, so no one thinks we're like, playing hide the ball here, right, is the Grey Nun property, right? It's owned by a healthcare company that has said they want to develop it into a healthcare facility. It's possible they might change their mind, but it wouldn't be $1, right? And that the township doesn't have a lot of money, let alone a lot of money for open space. So I acknowledge, that you guys, the focus was to identify properties that, you thought would be good to try to get. Then maybe some that have more, I don't have the right word, so forgive me, like environmental impact because of whatever. So that's why I say if the 6 are the ones you think that are the best and the other ones are just nice to have, then I wouldn't augment the list, right? But if you think there's other things that might meet that criteria that makes sense to you guys, then by all means, please share it.
And Suzanne, the Grey Nun property, we were just suggesting the corner, the 20-acre corner of it at Quarry Road and Lindenhurst Road, not the whole property, because yeah, that would be beyond our means. But maybe just that corner that's, meadow and has the detention basin, which the township already owns, that detention basin. So that was our proposal, not the whole property.
Thank you, Alan.
Yeah, I also understand too that we were to some significant money from the sale of the sewer system. And I might just remind everybody that when votes were taken for open space in Lower Makefield Township, I don't think there was any other proposal that received as many positive responses. I think it was somewhere between 70 and 80%. So if the money's there and we can procure open space, I think that's probably the best gift to the people in the township that the Board of Supervisor can give them. All right, where are we here?
That's it unless somebody has something else they
Well,
want to bring up. Or
The
do we-
Play for All.
Oh, sorry, Play for All, yes.
Yeah, do we want to send that in? We weren't asked for that. Would the board be interested in Suzanne or not?
I'm sorry, what, Alan? Play for all?
Comments on the Play for All plan. There's 3 things going forward. There's a study of Makefield, a study of Snipes, and cooperation between Pennsbury School District and the township for ball fields. We could have a few comments on parts of that, which would hopefully enlighten the discussion.
Maybe we should talk offline. You want to comment on the study that hasn't been performed yet?
Well, there's some issues we think should be included in the study, factors that should be considered when going one way or another, possibilities. Like one is put a AstroTurf field in Macclesfield, put another one in there.
But that's for the study to come up with. Right?
Yeah,
We shouldn't tell the people who are studying it, we think the answer is put another
Right,
turf
yeah.
field in.
Yeah.
Right, so
okay,
let's
we
wait
could-
till the study comes out and then we'll
Well, then
comment
it's-
on it.
Then it's too late, kind of. It's already done. I don't know.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all.
Really? Because it seems like once things have been said, it's a lot harder to change them at that point than earlier in the process.
I would personally think if people are performing a study, before that study is written, they would like as much input from, the township councils and residents as possible, because
They may want that as part of the study, right? It may be part of, they may in fact reach out to you. I can't speak to that. But to me, the point of the study is to look and think and evaluate. And part of that would be getting input from people, I would imagine. But to say before the study even starts, let us push you in one direction or the other doesn't really sound like much of a study.
Well, is Monica doing the study and when does it start?
Monica's not doing the study.
Okay.
I mean,
who's
I don't
doing-
know, like, how many times you guys say Monica's name and just think about all that she has accomplished, all that she does.
I know.
How much, right, so is she doing a study? No, my God, no, she's a
Well-
woman needs to sleep once in a while.
I know, but who's doing it then? Who would we send these comments to?
I don't know that a vendor has been selected. I think. they-
Okay, so there's gonna be an official vendor and,
Yeah, yeah. And
okay,
then,
well, we'll hold on to them till then.
you have them already?
Well, I sent them out. I sent out a draft to people. I didn't get any response, but
You
I
have
haven't
comments on the study that hasn't been performed yet. That's fabulous. All right, as soon
Well,
as we know the vendor name, I'll make sure I tell you guys how
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
rolling.
we know the issues. We know what's gonna come up. So, okay, everybody, just hold on to the draft and we'll finalize it when the appropriate time comes.
Okay. Anything else? Going once? Going twice? Nope. Okay. All right. All right. So I'm going to start the meeting I'm going to end the meeting how I started it. So do we want to have a vote to adjourn the meeting?
No, you want to have a motion to start the meeting.
Yeah.
Not over again.
I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting of September 8th, 2022.
And I'll second it.
All right. All right. All in favor, yay.
Aye.
All right, have a good week, rest of your week. See you guys in a month.
Good night,
Our next-
everyone.
Our next meeting is what, October
Six?
6th?
Six, ten.
I know, I don't even know.
15, hike.
No, 6th, October 6th at 6 o'clock. Okay,
Okay.
All right.
in case anybody's watching.
All right,
All right.
and Linda, you're gonna contact Jim Majewski and then, let me know.
Yeah, I'm gonna send,
Meeting's over.